The line,
All these tunnels look the same to me.
or words to that effect, is a common one in Doctor Who. But in the case of episode 6 of The Web of Fear, there's a lot of truth in that statement. Unlike previous installments of this serial, where there are multiple sets for different tunnel sections, the final episode has just one tunnel set, which would present a challenge for director Douglas Camfield. Not only was there a fair amount of tunnel action, but there are a number of consecutive scenes taking place in different parts of the underground network. Add to that, he needs to show the tunnels crawling with Yeti, but he only has 4 costumes at his disposal. Out-of-sequence recording was possible, as happened in earlier serials such as The Romans and The Ark. But Camfield elected to shoot this episode in scene order. So how did he deal with all these potential logistical headaches? The camera script for this episode provides us with the answers. In the running order, there are a number of scheduled recording pauses. These are not as lengthy as full recording breaks, but they are minor pauses in recording to give time for actors and cameras to get repositioned. In the early tunnel scenes in episode 6, there are 6 pauses scheduled, breaking up the first 5 scenes, which are all set in different sections of the tunnels. To help illustrate how this worked, let's break it down pause by pause. Scene 1. Following the film of the reprise, the first scene has Evans and Arnold flee into the tunnel. After a brief argument, Evans flounces off. This is captured by cameras 1 and 3, with the final shot of Arnold on camera 1. Pause. Derek Pollitt has already left the set, and during this pause, Jack Woolgar does the same. Patrick Troughton, Tina Packer, and one of the Yeti are moved into position at the other end of the tunnel. Camera 3 repositions to take the first shot of scene 2. Recording resumes. Elsewhere in the tunnels, the Doctor and Anne assess the situation. They leave their reprogrammed Yeti and move forward. This is where we have a fascinating directorial touch. Scenes 2 and 3 run into each other, and there is a second pause coming up. But Camfield has a plan to hide the join. After the Doctor and Anne leave their Yeti, we have a close-up of the robot on camera 3. The picture is then mixed to camera 2 and the other end of the tunnel set. Pause. The Yeti is removed, and the actors all move further up the tunnel to their new positions. The recording of scene 3 continues as Jamie reunites with the Doctor and Anne on camera 1, with the Colonel arriving shortly after. That crossfade has given the illusion of a continuous take, helping to fool the viewer that this set was much larger than it actually was. After our characters have caught up, they move on down the tunnel. Pause. The Yeti is returned to the set while the actors leave, and 2 more Yeti are positioned for scene 4. The action resumes further up the tunnel as the Yeti the Doctor and Anne left behind is joined by 2 others, and all 3 move forward. Pause. The 4 actors return further up the tunnel for the start of scene 5, and the Yeti are removed. Scene 5 is where this starts to get a little more complex. Arnold is reunited with the others. Jamie turns round and points at advancing Yeti. Pause. 3 Yeti are moved into position at one end of the tunnel. Recording resumes and the Yeti advance. Pause. The Yeti are moved to the other end of the tunnel set. The scene resumes and our heroes turn to see more Yeti coming at them from the opposite direction. They are then surrounded by all 4 Yeti. By using carefully planned pauses, Douglas Camfield has helped give the impression of a tunnel set far longer and more expansive than it actually was in Studio D at Lime Grove. He also sells the idea of the tunnels crawling with Robot Yeti. But Camfield isn't finished yet. After the Doctor and his friends are captured, there is a longer recording break. During this break, a set piece is added to the tunnels to give Evans somewhere to hide from the advancing Yeti in scene 6. After he is literally carried away, there is another break in recording, during which the embrasure is removed. There is then a further scene with the Doctor's party before another recording break to put the embrasure back for the scene where Arnold encounters Harold Chorley. What we're seeing here is a director carefully planning his camera angles, positions of actors, and where to schedule pauses and breaks in recording in order to get the most out of his resources. So if someone ever watches The Web of Fear and remarks that all the tunnels look the same, there's a very good reason for that. That's because they are.